And we sometimes get filmmakers and we sometimes get their subjects, and we almost never get both. So this is very, very lucky. We're lucky to have everybody here. And I'm just going to start it off before we open it to questions and ask a couple of my own. And so your background is not in documentary filmmaking. And how did you come to make this one and get into making a documentary?
Yeah, no, this is my first documentary. It was a learning experience a little bit, but I'd done narrative before, so I think I immediately saw there was something cinematic about these guys. And I was vacationing on Shelter Island with my wife's mother and stepfather, and he's in the movie. You see me in the car, literally meeting Jimmy for the first time. So this movie kind of just, it sounded like a good idea. We started rolling, and it evolved organically from there. So very lucky that, that it turned into a story. It doesn't always. It could have just been a short, quirky story about a couple of guys, but there was a structure there for a real movie, So
it was supposed to be 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Well, after listening to you talk, and I mean no disrespect at all, I don't think it could ever be 10 minutes. It just
yeah, it was just gonna
quick observation.
It was just gonna be Harold, and then I see him on camera. I'm like, wait, all right, it's both of you guys.
How did it start? Who did you start filming? You started filming Jimmy, you started filming Harold, you started filming and developed from there?
Mike came to meet Harold, so I was just a sidebar at the beginning. It was like, hey, okay, introduce the guy with the paintings. And I guess then it just materialized, and all of a sudden they started filming Harold, and I guess I couldn't keep my mouth shut while I was standing there. So I kept making a couple comments or whatever. And
what do you do with the force of nature?
So, and then all of a sudden Mike called me after the second day of filming and said, we're going to change this a little bit. So, and then by the third time or fourth time we were filming, they had met Alex, and it all just materialized into what you saw.
Does the timeline the way it is in the film? He hadn't had his show yet. Harold, you hadn't had your show yet when the film started.
No.
Okay, so it developed from there. You actually followed.
Yeah, that's like a happy accident.
It
It sounded like when they booked that show in the city, that might be where we're heading towards. Either a very happy or sad ending of the show. And luckily, it's a happy ending. I mean, he sold some paintings there, and he's very well received in the city. What did you think about that night?
It was interesting, not ever having been involved in that before, and it was, and it was just a real unique experience. Anytime you're involved in something like that, being filmed.
I mean, it's very, very beautiful story, and Harold, I have to say, your art is so gorgeous. I mean, I'd love to see the show, but the work that we get to see here, and to hear you talk about it before we get David Rankin talking about it, and David Rankin having obviously the more professional opinion on it and so forth, but to hear you as the creator of it, and to just your very basic way of discussing it, and to see you doing it while you're talking about it, and Mike, the way you filmed it. Had you ever, Harold, had you ever had movies done of you before? Because you seemed very, really comfortable in front of the camera. You didn't seem to have any problem with that at all. Was that true, or is that?
That's Mike.
That's Mike?
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff. Alex, you had made the video already of yourself.
Sorry. Yes, I did. When I was 16, I made a YouTube video about what it's like inside my autistic head. So I was used to the camera.
He's got 1,200,000 and about 70-some thousand hits on that video.
It's for showing me off.
I'm sure there's a lot of questions from people in the house, so we'll start right up there.
What camera did you use on the film?
Yeah, this wasn't a budgeted film. This was like a summer vacation project when it started. So it's just an HVX 200 that I owned at the time, and it was like a second unit kind of. Yeah, Panasonic. It'd be a lot different today, but that's what we had at the time. And my sound guy, Sean Bell, who took over cinematography duties on this one, and then I did the sound and was able to direct more by doing sound. So I did the sound on it.
I thought the music was really good. I mean, it just seemed to work out. How did you get it to be so right for all the different scenes?
It's a composer in L.A., Aaron Drake, the brother-in-law of our L.A. producer, Colin McLaren, did an original score for us. So we had Temp score at first, and then he kind of did his own take on that, and we were really happy with the score. Yeah, he's a talented guy. Yeah, it's mixed a little loud. This is a new mix today. You might have lost some of the dialogue in it tonight. It's always interesting. Every theater sounds different, but tonight my reaction was the music drowned out a couple of the dialogue bits. But we'll get it right before we put it on DVD, I'm sure.
Up there.
Did you have any art training, Harold, at all? Did you go to any classes or anything?
No. My mom used to draw in, like when they'd have like a second page ad in newspapers where they'd have a model. She worked for the newspaper, and they'd bring a thing in and they'd say, Daisy, can you sketch this out for us? And she'd do that, and I'd watch my mom, and I was always encouraged, just to draw and stuff when I was a kid, and but no classes or anything.
Well, a question I have for you, Harold, is in a lot of cases the joke of the modern age is reality TV, because as soon as you put a camera in the room, it's not reality anymore because it's being done for the camera. It didn't seem like that was happening with you. It didn't change the way you talked, that you were talking to the camera, you were talking to Mike, and you give credit to Mike for a lot of that. Do you feel like it's your relationship with David and with doing this film and other things that have happened so far, do you feel like that's changing the way you're approaching your art at all, or is it still pretty much the same as it's always been?
Well, the art's just independent of itself, but the friendship with Jim and developing with Mike and everything, and David and Alex and everything, and a lot of other people, it just puts you at ease. Shelter Island's an amazing place to live. Everybody works very hard there. It's great.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to hear.
This is my first doc, but what I'm proud of this film for is that it does capture the good things of humanity that you don't often see in Hollywood movies. You see these dramatic stories of jealousy and whatever and pettiness, and this is like a Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life kind of movie to me, and I love that quality about it, and that's why I'm so proud of this film.
In addition to being a tremendous movie about an artist and art, which is sort of unfathomable how well you put that together, but it becomes this wonderful story about friendships and about relationship, and the title is exactly correct: art and discovery and friendship, and the scenes that you chose, the boat ride, and Jimmy, when Jimmy's talking to David about his concerns about what might happen in New York, and just the tenor of it, and the way people react to the paintings. It's all about the humanity of this connection that happened, and that's to me it's more than any one single kind of picture in this documentary, which is really great. So we're all really grateful for it. Is there anything you'd like to say when you close out?
I'd just like to really thank Mike and Sean and Ari and Carl. Without them and without their belief and, I don't know, finding us out of a crowd, we wouldn't be sitting here, and wouldn't be our step going further and further, like I said in the movie. Really.
But I want to thank you guys for letting me into your lives and trusting me, because you guys did really open yourselves up, and you didn't know where this was going, and you all showed a lot of trust in me, and I appreciate that you guys did trust me and let me make this film.
Yeah, I want to thank you too, and I also want to thank Jim a heck of a lot for making it all happen.
There you go.
A couple more thank yous though. I do want to thank Jackie and this great festival. I want to thank Jackie and the Hamptons Take Two Festival. It's been a great experience, a great festival.